Good morning, guys. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about JavaScript software development and something that makes me feel so I feel like a little kid. I feel like I feel as if I have reached a point where I have discovered why somebody, a very wise man back in so many years ago told me, and being hip and cool and trendy made me dismiss that person, and today I am sorry. I am so sorry. So let's get into it. Now, for all this drama to make any type of sense whatsoever, you have to excuse me. I'm like super tired right now. I've had 5 hours of sleep. But still, we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna make our videos. Anywho, so one of the biggest issues that I see that we have in JavaScript, and it's kind of the same issue that we've had for years and years and years, it is that nobody knows how to write JavaScript. Or rather, nobody knows how to write JavaScript well. No one, not a person, no one knows how to structure a JavaScript application so that it scales over time right. Every single JavaScript project I've ever worked in is absolutely horrible. It has all these types of issues and so forth and so forth. And as I've been progressing through my career, I've tried so many different paradigms, not just in JavaScript, just in general. Everything from functional programming, declarative programming, all this good stuff, trying to make DSLs and all these different techniques and ways of writing software, right? And not all of it has, of course, been in order to enhance or like improve my JavaScript code, but it all kind of comes back and ties into it. And the reason why it does is because we still kind of struggle with structuring this, like a JavaScript application, not just JavaScript applications, but at really large scale. And it was the other day when I was working on this feature at my company where I don't know what happened, but it just kind of flipped in my head. I asked myself, I'm not trying out writing software in the fashion that I know is the most easily scalable way. Now just hear me out now. I'm not saying the best way to scale something, but I'm talking about the easiest way that I know how to create, like the application structure that I know to be proven to be one of the easiest ways to scale up a system to be very, very large. It's not the most effective, it's not perfect, but it's very easy. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about enterprise Java, and I'm talking about enterprise C#, that sort of application development. Now, the name that some people will throw around in order to kind of describe this is domain-driven design, or you have a controller layer, you have a service layer, you have a data layer, and so forth. Like this is I can't go through all of this in one video, but for the enterprise developers out there, you probably recognize this structure where you have an email service, a user service, etc., and your controller or action handler simply takes in the incoming request and calls the appropriate service, and that's it. And I just had this moment where I started thinking, why don't we write JavaScript in this fashion? Now I think I know why we didn't start out doing that. We didn't have inheritance, and this type of application structure is fairly similar to, like, it's kinda, not exact, but it's very tied into this object-oriented mindset, right? And so I actually started kind of playing around with just writing JavaScript as I would write, not the same thing. Of course, there's all these subtle differences to JavaScript that you don't use. Like, I'm not saying that you go die-hard Java and try to make JavaScript into Java. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that the application structure itself, like writing it in that fashion and just trying to kind of, I can't even believe I'm saying this, use the boring, obvious solution. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that in the world of JavaScript these days, we are, or rather it feels that way to me anyway. I mean, I've been doing this as well. It feels like we're all trying to reinvent different ways of working. We're trying to find this magical way of structuring an application or writing software in such a fashion that it's going to revolutionize something, or it's going to change everything, or I don't know. It feels like we're trying to write software, like we're trying out different techniques in order to write better software. And but what's actually happening is that we write worse software. That's how I feel about it. I'm not saying that this traditional like enterprise level type of application development is the best way of working. I mean, there's tons of issues with having a object-oriented or like a service architecture where like testing is absolutely horrible, and you have all these impurities and you have all these other issues. But the one thing you don't have is a scaling issue. You don't have this sort of issue where it becomes very hard for you to understand and comprehend the code, because having services that have different domains that they are responsible for, it's a very easy thing to keep in your head. It's very easy for developers to kind of adopt that practice and understand how it works and work with it. It's very boilerplate almost. It's boring. And boring, my friend, is actually a damn good thing when you have a lot of complexity, because boring is obvious. And if something is obvious to you, it becomes simple. Because I'm getting to a point where this hype about functional programming and composition and all that stuff, I get excited about the technology, but I'm just getting very tired of seeing poor implementation and code that just becomes unnecessarily complicated, because we're still struggling with trying to figure out a way of making this something nice. Sure, a service, or like having the service structured application, it's not as sexy because it's so boring and obvious, but it works. And it works really well. Almost all the time. I have never had an issue, like it's very rare that I feel that I have to like debug, or I don't really have much in terms of complexity issues with this sort of application development. And this is where I have to apologize, because I was told all of these things, everything I just told you, all of it, by my tutor in the university. Many years ago, this wise man, who was a dancer by the by, told me all of this. And I blatantly ignored him. I just kind of went, my friend, hey, I've been listening to Uncle Bob, and I've been listening to Martin Fowler, and all these other guys. I think they know a little bit better about this sort of stuff than you. Don't get me wrong, I mean, you're good and stuff, but these guys, they're getting paid to talk about microservices and all that stuff. I'm gonna listen to them. And so I did. And then I listened to the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. And that's where, and now finally I got all the way back. And now I'm back to square one again, and I have learned something very important. And that is, simple is better. Simple is better. And this sort of application development that we are doing in JavaScript these days is not simple. It's getting to the point where it's getting unnecessarily complicated, and I am just very happy that I got on board and learned all of the stuff that I needed when JavaScript was actually still fairly simple before now. And I'm also very happy that I have experience from different other programming paradigms and different programming languages, because it's getting to the point where in order to do effective JavaScript, you basically have to be a master programming and a bunch of other stuff, or you just have to be the sort of person who can endure the ugliest, worst code that you can imagine and just be emotionally okay with working in a complete shitstorm. That's where we're getting. And that's why I want you to join me in trying to take the lessons And the practices, I'm not saying that we should write C# or Java or C++ code or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to say that we should write the software that we write in JavaScript the same way. But what I'm saying is that maybe we should start taking lessons from older languages who have been solving these things for a long time and put those into JavaScript. Because honestly, I think we need to start fixing some stuff. Have a great day.